and gentlemen, welcome to the board meeting of May 27th. Just a reminder, if there's an emergency, we ask you to the rear of the building and or the front of the building, but the closest door is to the rear of the building. Go to your vehicle, please do not exit with the vehicle until so directed by emergency service personnel. Also, this is not spoken buildings, so we must go outside, doors closed.
Yes, good evening. Just one approval tonight for the board meeting minutes of May 12th, 2014.
Motion to accept the minutes as presented.
One change. On page 5, in the first paragraph, there's a sentence that said, "We heard an uptake." It should be an uptake. Update. Not uptake. That's not a big deal. Do you see it there? It's about 2/3 of the way down.
Take a motion to accept the changes. Motion. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Close.
Good evening, everybody. Bills for the evening for the period of May 14th through the 27th, total $819,205.31. The five largest: Coppell Martone tax certiorari settlements, $327,500. These are already transferred out of surplus. We approved that a few meetings ago. New York State Employees Health, $113,101.81 monthly premium. PSEG and Long Island, monthly charges of $22,601.70. Murphy and Lynch, another one of those tax certiorari's for $22,000. Eastern Resources for landfill charges, $21,744.08, and they total $506,947.59. I can have approval.
Motion to accept is presented.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Any questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye. I have one more item. I'm requesting approval for all non-union employees, full and part-time, to receive a 2% rate increase effective June 1st, and that's to keep in line with our union.
That follows the union
Yes.
contract agreement for both the code enforcement and
Yes. Full and part-time.
part-time. Motion to accept is presented.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I don't know if anybody had the opportunity to go to the Memorial Day ceremony yesterday, but it really is one of the greatest things we do. Isn't it? Were you there, Al?
I wasn't, no.
It was just, it's as good as it gets. I think what people forget sometimes with Memorial Day, when you look back at a community like Patchogue, whether it's Vietnam War, where we lost 8 people from the community, the total numbers from World War I, II, and the Korean War, and for Michael Murphy, a week and a half ago, well actually, yeah, just about a week and a half ago, when they renamed the campus in his honor as a Medal of Honor recipient, that how important that day is. And the things that we sometimes think are important are not that important. To sit there and listen to the men that speak, think about the people that we lost, think about the families that mourn them, you know, the dreams that were lost, the times that were lost. It really, I think out of everything that I do, and I'm invited to, I think that Memorial Day is the single day that I would not miss anything, because I think it means more than 4th of July parades, Alive After Fives, even to some sense Veterans Day. Because Veterans Day, we're honoring those veterans that are with us. Memorial Day, you're looking at those that was lost. You know, take the Jane Latin post. Jane Latin, the 2 young men from the village who died at Pearl Harbor. Not many people know that. So I just think about it next year when it comes around. It really is worth bringing your camera, John, because it really tells the story. And what's really great about it is you have the junior high school, 2 junior high school bands that play. So you get about 80 kids that wouldn't normally come this, and you get 80 kids' parents that would normally come to this. And yet, kids and families getting opportunities to take a look at who we are as a country. Just tremendously done. You know, in this past few days, you had Memorial Day. Last Thursday night, Lou was there at the Plaza Mac Theater. They showed Casablanca. And Isabella Rossellini stayed and spoke to the people that were there. And running some of the 92nd Street Y in the city where they do those kinds of things. But when you look at the community and look at things that happen in the community, take a look at the Plaza Mac, because it really is one of those things, one of those jewels that we have. So you have the Memorial Day, which is a wonderful day, and the Plaza March, which is great. And then you have the vandalism. You end up with the vandalism that's on the back of the library. It came up with that, and you saw it. It was just as ugly and disturbing as could be. You know, you think, when you look back over the last few days, the good stuff that happens, and then you see one of those things, it makes you really kind of wonder what makes people do what they do. And Suffolk County PD is now involved in it, obviously. And charges will be pressed if they found, and it will be removed over the next couple of days. But just those things that really, really get me crazy. Request approval for the village clerk to receive and collect the 2014-15 tax rate in the amount of $10,489,835.49 without penalty until July 1, 2015. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Over the last 2 years, we've twice gone to the state for a home rule request to be able to use the surpluses in the sewer surpluses for infrastructure. So we paid certain roads, we done certain things, and we're asking again to allow us to use up to 40% of what we have in sewer surplus for non-sewer infrastructure improvements. And the resolution is just allowing us to apply for that. It still has to go through the Assembly and has to go through the Senate for approval. So I have a motion to a resolution for home rule request.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Bid report. Again, Chamber of Commerce.
That's there, Deputy
Trustee, Deputy Mayor Coogan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd like to ask Trustee Keys to give us a little update on the parking lot resurfacing, just to let Long Island Advance and Newsday know what our schedule looks like.
The plan now after meeting with Parkline is going to be recoding, striping, and numbering the stalls in the Oak Street lot and the portion behind Blum's and the theater, in the Terry Street lot and the portion behind the library, and in the Church Street lot in its entirety. We will be wreaking havoc on June 9th, 10th, and 11th. Keep those dates in mind. Those are the target dates to get everything rolling. I was going to call you, Linda, and maybe make a post of that. I'll get in touch with you and do some of that. And I'm having signs made up to put at the entrances of the lots, and hopefully we can get the chamber to maybe get some flyers out to its members as well. Probably a good idea to leave them in stores. The Blum's lot will probably be closed in its entirety. We'll do all one shot, as well as the Terry Street lot. The Church Street lot there will do half at a time, so there will be access to that lot. I mean, there's no sugarcoating. It's going to be hell, frankly. It's going to be tough those 3 days. If you had complaints about parking before, you would definitely have a lot of them on June 9th, 10th, and 11th. But it's something that has to be done. It's long overdue. And without the meters, you know, the lots needed. We already sealed all the cracks. We cracked from back in October to try to get a little bit of a jump, take some of the bite out as early as we could. So those dates, please keep them in 9, 10, and 11. And if there are any glitches or rain dates, then the 16th and 17th of June will be the follow-up dates for that. So prepare yourselves, prepare your neighbors.
Joe, so the first lot we're gonna do is Blums?
They'll be doing, yeah, they're gonna be Blums, they will do like Blums and half a church. There'll be two operations going on at the same time. So, you know, we can hopefully get this painful, I mean, if it goes really well, they'll only need 2 days, the 9th and the 10th, but we're figuring for the rest, you know, 9, 10, 11. So there will be having, you know, on both sides, you know, for those 2 days.
Yeah, just to be clear, that the Oak Street lot, we're only doing behind, which is the west side of the lot, which is basically behind Blum's
I think the
and
theater
the
was.
theater. And the reason why, and Terry Street, we were also planning on doing the entire Terry Street lot, and also behind the theater, we were planning on doing the entire theater lot, including the Congregational Church. But since the Chamber has asked us to limit the parking meters now in the parking lots and not meter as many spaces, we had to look at that plan again and cut where costs where needed to be cut. So we decided to just resurface the areas of the lots that the meters will go into. The rest of the lots could be resurfaced at another time if the village has the money, but we didn't think that it was prudent to spend money that we don't have yet.
And along that, you just kind of remind me, as I told you before we talk on it, get back to me, but we resolved back in October, Patty, I think, of 2013, to actually spend money to do all 3 sections of that Terry Street lot. So now we're going to change that. So I need a motion to rescind that original one and then make another one for just that portion of the Terry Street lot that
Yes.
not to exceed, like, say, $25,000.
Good.
You'd be able to find the original resolution, I didn't do so. Then I'm going to make a request approval to rescind that early motion resolution, October 2013, which approved the recoding and numbering and striping of the entire Terry Street lot from Burlington east all the way. I'd like to motion to rescind that resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And I'd like to make a motion request approval to hire Park Line to seal, stripe, and number the portion of the Terry Street lot as Deputy Mayor Green described, pretty much directly behind the library, at a cost not to exceed $25,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thanks, Joe.
Actually, I could have waited for my report to be that.
Let's put this all together. The other part of the parking issue I want to talk about is we're working on now to have the limits on Main Street increased to 2 hours from an hour and a half. And that should be done shortly. I've left a message for Parkline today, Devo today, to get back to me. They haven't gotten back to me yet. We're going to put the wheels in motion to move it up to 2-hour limit on Main Street. The fee is going to be the same, but that's been a request from many. Oh, Mark, you came in. I just announced that we're going to be increasing the time limit on Main Street to 2 hours.
Oh, good.
Okay?
Yes.
Second part of that, we'll just briefly say, we're going to be resurfacing your lot on June 9th. So just your side, Congregational Church area will not be paved, so your people come to your shop will have to park there for a day.
June 9th.
June 9th. All right,
They
Dave
don't have
Kennedy.
any sales.
Yeah, what's that? Dave Kennedy's going to do a letter to all the chamber members if he hasn't done
All
that.
right, good.
Well, plan on 2 to 3 days as you go. Plan on the 9th, 10th, maybe. There'll be some activity going on back there.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, your dad will be in Florida, right?
What?
Will your father be in Florida?
No, but I'm not worried about him. My business partner I'm worried about. And we've been so busy with the sale.
That's good.
Yes, very good.
That's good. All right, I'm just going to, I'm going to be brief tonight, but I was looking at the village the Patchogue Theater website today, and I was really excited. and I haven't done a rundown on events at the theater, but I'm going to ask everybody, if you're interested in an event, go to the website, because I'm just going to read some of these off to you. What's going on in the next few months at the theater. This Sunday, Atlantic Wind Symphony, and then coming up in June is Mickey B's Hall of Fame. Then Live in the Lobby, they're going to do Live in the Lobby at the band show this summer on August 9th. October 11th, Blood, Sweat, and Tears coming to the theater. Jackie the Joke Man's coming back. Gateway this summer is a great lineup. They have Mary Poppins starting July 2nd. Disney Cinderella July 5th. South Pacific starting July 23rd. And Disney Jungle Book on July 25th. June 4th, of course, is the Patchogue the Musical featuring yours truly. Deputy Mayor Krieger will be performing. Bobby Collins Comedy in September. Tommy Dorsey Orchestra celebrates Sinatra. My mother's Italian, my father's Jewish, and I'm home for the holidays on November 22nd. It's a very funny show. Miss Long Island Teen Pageant, August 10th. Menopause the Musical, September 20th. Herb Alpert, and also in October, Herb Alpert, Paul Poundstone. Then Susan Salute to the Veterans, November 9th. And of course, all the Live in the Lobby starts the 10th season in September. A lot of great things happening at the theater over the next few months. And there's a few things that are in the works. We're working on the Folk Festival for next year. We'll have a very exciting announcement about that one. And a couple other shows that we're working on that I think are very exciting.
What are they still in the seats before?
They're still working on the seats. I spoke to Johnny today about it.
You need to get close on it.
Yeah, it looks like they're ready to make a decision, like which ones. Okay, and we're ready to go on that, because we have to, because they got to book for the next year, and everything, including the space.
Yeah, remember saying that actually you'll be able to, ready to get a few more seats?
Yeah, funny thing, yeah, I was surprised, yeah, it's more seats.
It's a wider seat, 22
Yeah,
seat.
yeah, we're going for a wider seat, more comfortable, modern seat. If you've been to the theater lately, you might have noticed that a few of the seats are in disrepair, and it seems like, you know, not a good use of money to keep on having people come in and repair seats that we're not going to have for a while. So what we've also done is redid the handicap seating, where now currently the handicap seating is all in the back of the theater. Now the handicap seating is in the theater itself too. There are sections inside the orchestra where the handicap can go. So they're working on that, and hopefully we'll have that all figured out. And you know, again, I got to thank the Joe, the Highway Department and the Parks Department. There's been a lot of issues at the theater recently. There was some plumbing issues, some lighting issues, and you guys just, you know, go down there, fix it up, and you're back on. You know, when they have the dance recitals there and the toilets aren't working, it's a big problem. So thanks to you guys for coming out there. I would like to, I got, who's this? Apply for a permit for a neighborhood block party in front of the home on 102 Lakewood Street in Patchogue between Shore Road and Ketchum. The date will be June 28th between the hours of 10 and, what's 1800? 6. 10 and 6. 10 and 6, and there will be no live music or entertainment at the time of this writing. Motion?
Second.
Now, should we waive the alcohol? Okay.
They didn't
Waive-
ask for anything.
No, they did not ask for anything. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Trustee Keys.
Mr. Mayor, fellow board members, ladies and gentlemen, just a wish list, I think, tonight, Mr. Mayor. I'm requesting approval of payment for a cost overrun of $4,584.34 to Jayco Construction Corporation for the Smith Street sidewalk.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Requesting approval for an additional $28,000 payment to H2M for Phase 1 design and engineering for the River Avenue sewer extension.
All in favor?
Thank you. I'm requesting a motion, I think you have in your package, the names of two gentlemen that the idea is actually looking to use on the watering truck. We're gonna hire 2 part-time guys to take the road of Homestead. I'm sorry?
That was an ad.
It was an add-on.
Oh, it is, okay, I apologize. Let's give it to me.
For the water truck, the plant?
The watering truck isn't on my agenda this time, right? But at any rate, I'm requesting approval to hire the 2 individuals, Jim Olmsted and Chris Riley, as water truck personnel. It's a motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Requesting approval to hire Powell's Electrical Contractors to install the lighting. This is all part of the East Main Street project. We managed to, initially, as you remember, we were just going to run the conduits, but a little persuasion, we were able to actually get, purchase the lights. So we're going to purchase the lights and have those installed as well, so that it will be a complete project, not something that's going to wait for you. And that money will come from surplus, and so I'm requesting approval to hire Powell's Electrical Contractors for that purpose, at a cost not to exceed $43,612.26.
Motion.
Second.
Good.
Aye.
It looks so exciting right now, Joe, is everything going?
Yeah, so we're going to speak on more of it, but, you know, weather didn't help us up, but yeah,
Joe?
that's one of the.
Can you find out for me also, we're going to need to put code at any point down there at night? When they do, you know, once they start doing the heavy concrete work? I mean, if you take a look at the vandalism that was done on the library, it looks, if they do, get hold of me, get hold of Jim Burbridge, find out the dates that they're gonna need, and we'll just put it out there. Just to know, also, that 43 surplus, I spoke to Annie today, she believes she may have it, but she just wants to be able to have the approval for the surplus if need be. It's not necessary.
I'm requesting approval to hire Flanagan Electric. We discovered a problem with the generator here in the building. Conduit wiring was pretty aged, to say the least, and so we had issues with the generator. And so this is actually a change order, requesting approval to make a change order for Flanagan Electric for a cost not to exceed $2,500. And that's all part of the generator installation, new generator installation.
The electrical wiring that you're replacing is the old cloth.
Yeah.
Motion second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Mr. Mayor, I don't see it on the agenda, but we do have in a package, it is looking for approval to write the application needs to state needs to compare. Anything else requesting that?
You said we should be told about.
Oh, you got it? I'm sorry, okay. No problem.
You can do it, though.
Okay, no, that's fine.
You're on a roll.
Yeah, I believe that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, fellow trustees, ladies and gentlemen, I get to be Italian tonight. I'm South Elise for 5 minutes. Request approval to hire 2 seasonal public safety officers, Matthew Flower and Stephen Armstead, from June 1st to September 1st, 2014. That's a motion.
Favor?
Request permission for Pete Sarich, Chief Building Inspector, to attend an asbestos meeting at the New York State Labor Department, Albany, New York, on June 9th at no cost to the village. That's a motion.
All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Trustee Ferg again. I just want to compliment Billy on the great parade in the rec department.
Yeah.
It's very emotional and parade. And one thing I noticed, we marched, the politicians marched in back of the ROTC. Now, it was high school kids in the ROTC. Now, I didn't know the high school had an ROTC.
Yeah, big program.
When you had 50 kids in uniform marching down the street, you know, some of them spinning rifles. When I was in high school,
Do they have it?
they did in high school.
Yeah, fight for the Trump.
Yeah. You didn't want to have anything to do with the military. You know, the military was like ugly, dirty, horrible. And it's just amazing how the attitudes have changed over time. Very impressive. With that, I have I think just one business matter, which is We need a resolution from the board, village board resolution needed at the May 27th meeting. A resolution to allow the bid to write an application for New York State Main Street grant in the current round of funding. The grant would be written for $200,000 and the targeted area for improvement would be both sides of North Ocean Avenue from Four Corners to Thorn Street, excluding the new village development. New York State grant funding comes from the Office of Homes and Community Renewal. That's a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
That's the same grant program that Dennis has been doing.
That's the program that we have refaced so many places in the village.
About $1 million worth of it.
You know, remember it's matching money. It's $1 million probably from the state. I don't know the exact number, but and then it's $1 million from the
Yes,
business.
it's about $2 million worth
It's
of it.
really, and it's showing. It's beautiful. That's what I think.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, fellow trustees. Nobody mentioned the beautiful article that was in the Wall Street Journal, which I have right here in my own head. Did everybody see the article in the Wall Street Journal? We actually made the real estate section. You know, I drool over real estate sections for years, and I read all these communities that the New York Times and other publications showcase, and always wish that they were showcasing us. So the title of the article was Patchogue offers sea shacks to Queen Anne's. And I just want to read a couple of quotes. Today locals say Patchogue is experiencing a revival as redevelopment efforts add hundreds of housing units within walking distance of downtown, and a new generation of residents and tourists has discovered a vibrant commercial center close to a picturesque bay. The phenomenon that's going on right now that I just keep on hearing over and over again, it is just full of young people, and young people have really discovered Patchogue as a fun place to be. And this is from a realtor, Gary King of Swan Realty, and that has brought the downtown alive. A little bit further on, Patchogue's median listing price in April was $285,900, a 10% rise from the same month in 2013. So I think, real estate is on the rise in a lot of places in the United States, but I think 10% outside of Manhattan, which is having a boom, but I think 10% is pretty darn good in today's environment. So they had some lovely pictures of Brick House, the theater, Main Street, and then they showed a couple of houses that were on the market. It was a great article, it really was.
It really was. It was very surprising. When they called last week, it made it sound like it was going to be one of these Newsday articles if it didn't. And it really ended up,
It's like two
the center spread
Yeah,
in the real estate section. You open it up and
it's pretty
We're gonna
exciting.
put a link on our website and on.
One of the things that I found really interesting about the article, assuming that you can trust the statistics from the Wall Street Journal, was the educational attainment of Patchogue. It's materially above the state average.
87% of students who entered high school in Patchogue, Medford in 2009 met or exceeded state standards for proficiency in the English language, compared with 81% statewide. And 88% did so in math, compared with 84% statewide.
Because I know we have an inherent bias. I've only been here 11 years, but I don't think of the schools as good schools, and they are.
Absolutely.
What was interesting about that very quickly, I had sent a copy of just a note to Tad Waldauer. He lives in Somerset, New Jersey, and his dad had been informed. And about 10 minutes later, I got a response from him. He said, I've read it already. A friend of mine who works for UPS in Boston had sent him a note, and another friend of his in Washington, D.C. had sent him. And they were just looking through it, as people looking through it. So it really does, the New York Times and Newsday really kind of take care of us here, but
That's the readership for Wall Street Journal.
I spent more on Wall Street Journal this weekend than Protocol.
It's not easy to see online if you don't have a subscription. So I'm trying, look how I got in. Just kept trying.
Go to Google, you get right.
I questioned it. I did. I eventually got it. So, since the mayor was talking about Plaza Mac, I'll just give you an update on what's going on there. This week, they're showing the movie Railway, Colin Firth. It's supposed to be an excellent movie based on World War II, prisoner of war, Japan, and it's a true story from what I understand. So, very highly regarded. And then on June 6th is a movie called Belle, and Attorney Ian is looking forward to seeing that, but I couldn't even tell you what it's about. He could, if you'd like.
The snapshot is about a woman who was brought to, the premise of the movie is brought to England and then really is kind of impetuous for the freeing of the slaves to the British Empire through her personal contact with her uncle, who happens to be the Lord Chief Justice of England. It's going to be great. Already the presiding judge of the county court already asked me if the Plaza Mac was going to have it, because they wanted to screen, he wanted to be able to see it.
That's pretty exciting.
Can you bring
Well,
it
that's-
together?
Yes,
June
that's my
6th.
plan.
June 6th. But in addition to film, what they've been doing every Sunday is they've been doing performance art and cinema brunch. And this is every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. They'll screen great literary works, operas, symphonies, ballets, and dance. And they're all pre-recorded performances presented in their entirety. And they also have brunch available for purchase. And I should note that they've gotten all their problems with the health department settled, so they're now serving beer and wine and coffee and popcorn again. So, but just to give you an idea of the types of things that they're doing with their Sunday 10:30 a.m. brunch, let's see what's coming up. Caesar and Cleopatra on June 15th, which is a stage production. Don Giovanni, which I believe is an opera. They'll be doing ballet and cinema on July 13th, the Third Symphony Ballet, and opera and cinema on July 27th, Giacomo Puccini with Tosca, and ballet and cinema, Don Quixote, Paris Opera Ballet on August 24th. So a lot of things going on at Plaza Mac.
Lori, I would just add to that. These are performances
Will you go
from, like Richard II was from the Royal Shakespeare Company in England. It was unbelievable. It was one of the best Shakespeare performances I ever saw in my life.
My mom showed me Fledermaus.
Yeah,
For that, because it was
I
spectacular.
couldn't see it, but
You couldn't see it.
the performances are from La Scala, they're from they're from Russia, from the Royal Ballet. I mean, there's stuff that you just can't see. It's just not possible to go to England and St. Petersburg unless you're an olive. We don't allow it.
So just a couple of updates on things going on Main Street in our downtown business district that have been coming before the planning board. The Cheese Patch got their approval and they're moving out of Wisteria Lane and hope to be in their new location on Main Street by June.
That's next to the.
It's right next to the yogurt, next to the candy store.
Yeah.
It used to be Ricky's Chicken, but I poked my head in the other day and they're moving along with the construction and everything.
I saw the other one, it was like.
Yeah, I saw her in the shop, and she said she's gonna be in there in June, so we're excited about that. And then we have an Asian fusion restaurant, the name of which escapes me, that's going into one of the storefronts at Jay's. So that should be interesting. They own 3 other restaurants from what I
Tony's?
understand. What's that?
Tony's Asian Fusion.
No.
No,
No? Is there-
That's in their name, this is their style, it's not actually in there.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's not actually in their name. I didn't get it clearly when I was sitting at planning board, but they were here, I believe for the work session, so they don't have any approvals yet. They're going through the planning process. And Rumble was here again to show their elevations, and they're still going through the planning process. That's the Caribbean cuisine that's going in where we want it to be.
So would you go over with Peter, when you get a chance, to pile up on that? He had done it, but it doesn't seem right, but just,
One was,
yeah.
Rumbles Cove?
So Rumba came back.
Yeah, well, they wanted
Did
them to
what?
come back with a little bit more, yeah, this is the second time they've been before planning board. And,
They needed an elevator and pilot, two big surprises, which at least $100,000
yeah, well,
surprises.
I think
Good.
they were going back and forth with the size of the elevator and things like that, and what was New York State code is required, so. But, yeah, they resolved a lot of those things, I believe. They just wanted more details from the architect. That's why they were back. And then I just have one other thing I wanted to bring up as a point of discussion at the last meeting. We had the gentleman from Jennings Avenue with the traffic issues, and I wondered how everybody felt about maybe hiring somebody to do a study of that area, and maybe make some recommendations as to what we can do to address traffic issues on
Lori, I
Jennings
think we
Avenue.
should wait. We should, when this building is open after September, we should do a traffic study.
But I think right now we need to take a look at it, because it is good. It's creating issues right now. You know, but I know what you're saying. So we're preempting what we may not need to do. But I would rather preempt it.
I think we could also find out what the issues are, because, you know, we're making an assumption about New Village, but first of all, it's not even a true street yet, and hardly anybody's living there. I think that the problems, because I see them on Cedar Avenue, it's just people driving around at night, and let's find out what are those patterns, where are those people coming
We had
from?
checked into, painting like a shoulder, you know, kind of narrow the road a little bit. Unfortunately, those aren't really wide enough, but we are going to put yellow stripe down the center and big stop bars and big stop, you know, on the road, paint on the road, big stop. Because I think the issue of what I got from the gentleman said was the intersection of Thorn and Cedar, and I think he particularly mentioned Thorn and Jennings was an issue. Now, you know, it's just something that makes the drive a little more, we can just also look at kind of traffic calming kind of thing that we can do pretty cheap, and at least it's a start, and, you know, hopefully we drive us a little more aware that, you know.
Talk to Joe about putting the, way of the speed meter.
Yeah, okay.
The speed meter, you never seen that before.
On Thorn or Jennings?
Right? Yeah.
I didn't know.
Let's get that up immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, you know, it's like, on Cedar Avenue in February, somebody hopped the curb and went through my neighbor's hedges and then went right into a car. And it was at night.
Cedar has the same problem that Jennings has,
Right.
is they're three-way, they're not four-way intersections. And I think the people see them,
Yeah, maybe down
They
by
don't see
me.
it.
they
It's,
don't think of it as
yeah, further up
a
there's
significant
four-way.
stop and go type situation. So,
Well, they don't. I could sit on my porch with my video and probably 90% of the cars don't stop at the stop sign. That's another problem. And that makes me the same.
Well, you know, if you don't know it's there, you don't see it. Seriously. Stop sign by your house.
You don't see anyone?
I know it's there,
The
so I,
one, but across the street from you, when you're coming south, there's not even any
no,
trees.
going north.
Oh, going north, but the one that they really don't stop at is
Goes
going
to
south.
southbound.
Yeah.
In a hurry to get to Lombardi's.
I don't know where they're in a hurry. A lot of times they're just making the turn, which scares me even more because the kids playing on the street
Just particular times?
all the time, Sunday morning, afternoon.
Sundays? I'm just wondering, I think it's something we need to ask them to monitor.
I'll pay attention on the next week or so, because they've come before, they usually come when the neighbors also call, because the ferry traffic picks up when it's worse. But, you know, Lindy's taxi, I'll call Lindy's myself if I see that. Then I don't see them do that for a while. Starting. So, yeah, I'll keep an eye on it.
We'll talk some more about it.
Anytime I'm in front of my house, somebody tries to do that stuff. Crazy. So, all right, so what do you think the consensus is for Jennings Avenue? Do you want to try some of the things you're suggesting?
We throw
We're
those,
gonna do it.
is that,
We're gonna do it, we're gonna
let's
pursue
do
that,
that, we'll talk about putting up the,
and I'll put the speed meter up.
yeah.
You know, there are a whole bunch of calming things.
But that's what.
Speed bumps. And having the, like little bubbles sticking out on the corners so the road narrows.
That's
All
That's
that kind of
exactly.
stuff really slows people down.
You mean where the sidewalk kind of
With
comes?
the side, yeah, you know, with you have an intersection with four corners,
Yeah.
instead of having nice square corners, you stick a little bubble out, so the road
Right.
narrows. So that two cars can pass each other. You know, you don't need 4-car width. So you have too many air car. People saw that. I mean, it's proven, it's research on it. I looked at it once. 10 years ago. 8 years ago.
No, we'll talk some more.
Yeah, I don't have
But I think
anything else.
it's, we still think it's matched to Joe's note.
Well, I think if you want,
Yeah.
want to make a resolution, solicit proposals for a show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's solicit proposals.
Right.
Okay, so.
Actually, then we need to know whether we need to solicit proposals, because as a consultant.
It's a professional hire, right, you can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you want to do a
Yeah.
resolution to retain traffic engineer.
Okay,
Cutting Jennings Avenue.
all right, so that's a motion.
Second.
Aye.
Okay.
Now, the question, would they just set up Jennings Avenue or that whole sort of area
I
around
would say
there?
that whole area,
That is-
anything that's
yeah.
feeding into
Yeah.
or out of
Yeah,
Jennings. Makes sense.
yeah, like Lake Street and
Yeah.
Ocean Avenue.
Yes,
Fire department.
Yeah.
If we tell them what they should with,
for that general vicinity.
They should be willing to pay for over the next 3 weeks.
yeah.
By the 20th, it should be done. Lake Street should be built paved, and what Ocean they did. Obviously, Lake Street, pretty much all the way down,
Right.
and North Ocean is just gonna be a light mill.
That way they can move even faster on the new flat road.
Yeah. Trustee Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, trustees, Patty, and guests. First of all, as far as the parade was concerned, it was great, but it was just, I enjoyed doing that lineup so much. Everybody's just such in a great mood.
Yeah.
They fully realize the importance of why they're there. And I also would like to compliment the Patchogue High School band that was also there. I know that that's an expensive proposition for the school themselves because they have to pay for buses and chaperones and the director. And once again, we had to move the lineup around a little bit because some of the clarinet players had to catch the 11:30 days upon ferry.
I think when I drove both players up to the middle.
I know.
They did.
So, and of course, there was a train, it's always a train. But once again, it's just such a fun event to work. And,
Yeah, the stage that you had,
yeah,
which was the school district.
right, stage we had, and it was beautifully decorated by the Parks and Recreation Department, and it was just a great day. Looking out from where we were seated across to the American Legion, there was probably 500 people.
It was great.
Every one of them with a smile on their face, a tear, and it was just great. Just love it.
Really is the best of the best.
Yeah. So, my compliments to everybody who was involved.
Joe Dean they were there. You know, they went there early and more down the morning. He had guys sweeping the streets. And,
Yeah, there was a lot of green shirts running around.
yeah,
The,
a lot of double times.
oh, yeah.
They were just the best of the best.
It was. It's great. Let's do it again. Hopefully everybody's gotten I wish I had one to hold up, the new recreation brochure. I think it came out very nice.
My question is,
Here it comes.
what do you notice the most in the picture?
I would have to say the back cover
Yeah,
where the skinny kids.
is that one? This picture, when you take a look at this brochure, take a look at the back cover. There's not one fat kid, and there's got to be 300 kids.
At least.
Every one of them looks like their parents hadn't fed them in a week. It is really an amazing picture. It's the second or third time we've used that, and every time I
Well,
look
it's
at it,
different one. It's different
Yeah,
one every year.
but every time I look at it,
I know,
I can't believe I was that skinny.
No. I never saw so many Italian kids in one place. But then if anybody has not gotten the brochure, please call the Recreation Department and we sent one out to you.
We have it here.
And we have them at Village Hall, we also have them at 380 Bay Ave. Came out really, really nice site.
And Emery Montessori, actually, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice, right.
Discussed. Mr. Mayor, moving on, I'd like to request approval to lower the age requirement for camp counselors from 18 years of age to 17 years of age. That's a motion.
You have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Request approval to hire the 2014 summer recreation staff. List as presented. It's 4 pages, so just.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
What I like about it, Bill, is really, is 80% of the village kids.
Yeah,
That's a
absolutely.
lot, yeah. Absolutely, take care of all.
And it's a great thing to have for the village children to work. It's not, it's great for about 6 weeks. It's not gonna knock you out. It's, they get to meet, they get to get outside, they get to social and also make some money. So whenever people talk about privatizing, I know that we're always approached by companies that will come in and say, we'll run your camps for you, we'll run your pool for you, we'll be ready for you. But the biggest thing that they won't do is hire the local kids. They bring in, the one company, Jack, you're familiar with the companies, they bring a lot of the kids in from Europe. And who wants that? They might be cheaper in the long run, maybe, but what are the local kids going to do? All of our children have worked for the village at one time or another.
Some of us have worked.
Some of us have worked for the village. We still got t-shirts. T-shirts. Moving on. Mr. Mayor, I'll read it first. Request approval for Patchogue Family YMCA to hold free Tai Chi classes at Shorefront Park on June 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th at 8 a.m. in the morning. I'm wishy-washy about this because we already have a Tai Chi program at Shorefront. Ray and I are going back and forth about this. I meant to call Lawrence this week, asking if he was going to ruffle his feathers. He's been doing it for 20 years.
They don't have, they give a proclamation. Ready?
I give him the clock. You write it, I give it. I don't want, like I said, I'm on the fence about this. He struggles. He has a business on South Ocean.
Right.
I personally would like to have his not approval, but.
Would you speak to him?
Right.
And, about Tai Chi and what he'll, more to a market,
But he or the why?
or the way.
Right.
If they would want to do it, they can do it.
Father Toro, they can do it out. They can walk there from the Y.
Yeah.
So, can we put that off for a meeting?
Well, June 3rd is going to come up before I was.
So,
Why don't we do this? I want to do a pending approval. And leave it up to you to get back to me next week.
Yep.
Speak to both sides. And let the one know what the concerns are. We have somebody who's been loyal to us for the last 20 years.
Right.
But we understand they need for an outdoor space. We have other spaces, and let's take a look at this one. We could, behind 380 Bay,
Right.
go back in there, but we don't want to have direct competition in that competition.
Right. Or they could park
Yeah.
something. But at this point, I just don't want to shut the door on once.
So let's speak to him.
Right.
Just,
Good. All right. So
whatever happens, I'll blame anyway. So,
that's all right. Good boy. So, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to.
but they give you a pending approval.
Approve it at the commissioner's discretion.
Yeah.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
So carried.
That's all I have for tonight, thank you.
Anything else by the board? Council? Public?
Yep.
State your name and address.
Good evening.
My name is Andres Costa, and I just bought my house in Patchogue 8 months ago in Milton Court.
What about?
Milton Court is right off
Well,
Patchogue Street, right by the boatyard.
Yep.
Yep, a nice, beautiful house, and I took my money, I work, I do a lot of work myself, but also I hire contractors. It happens that the street is not asphalt, it's just rocks, and it's in terrible shape, and I want to know if it's possible that I can get asphalt.
Milton?
Milton Court is like, it looks like a private road, you know, it's off Patchogue Street, all those little side streets. I live really close to there. There's Cedar Grove, Walk, they're all like that, and they're kind of private. Yeah, they're private, they're not, you
Can
know.
you check to make sure?
Sure.
See, those little streets, many, many years ago, when those homes were built there, they were built on private streets. We don't have any control over them at all.
Correct. We don't plow them, we don't pave them, we don't maintain
Oh
them.
yeah, when I went to the winter, and winter it was terrible for me because I had to plow the other person that lives at it's only 2 houses, my house and his house. I mean, he wasn't doing it, so I was doing the whole work
Which
and
house
the,
do
in
you
the
have?
snow, plowing the snow, that it's not asphalt or concrete. You had to deal with the rocks and all that, so it become a mess and I don't know how much, and you know what? What happened is that this person, my family, they live, let's say I live at the corner of Patchogue Street and Milton Court. So they live the next house, it's only 2 houses. And he already, from what I understand, I spoke to him and he said that he got paid for on the insurance. And I don't know what's the deal, but the house, they're gonna flatten the house.
Oh, it's raising.
So that means, that's it for the house, it's moving, I think it's going to Pennsylvania. So it's gonna be me, so I don't even need the whole street to be with asphalt, it can be just my side, that's it, because they're not gonna be building nothing on that side. So it's half of the street, it's not that much, and if you come and see the house looks pretty, everybody's happy with me, and I made a lot of friends, and I took care of the house. I did a very good job in the house, electric, pipes, gas, siding, a lot of work in the house. It was very pretty, and that's what I need, just half of the block.
Private roads, I don't know if your attorney explained to you, do you have an attorney for the real estate purchase?
Sure.
Yeah. This comes up a lot, private roads, the village has no jurisdiction on because they're owned by you, they're not owned by us. So we can't, even if we wanted to, we can't improve a private road because under the state constitution, that's considered a gift to the homeowner. So on private roads, the state comptroller is very clear with us that we can't pave it, we can't go on it, we can't stripe it, we can't enforce parking on it. Sometimes there are issues on those roads that are on the private roads about people parking on the street, blocking other neighbors' access. This is an old problem down there, but on private roads, we have no legal ability to do anything on it.
All right, so if there's no way out for me, you have any suggestion, what should I do? Just myself paying
Well-
that in the street, or maybe
Yeah.
you have people that do the work and I can find some, I put some money towards that, but if you have people that do the work, maybe, working out and save a little money,
The
is that possible?
Yeah, the possibility is if your neighbor's gonna be leaving, you may have control over how wide you develop that. You could develop it almost only into the width of a driveway. But,
It's very thin, it's not a double car, let's say.
yeah.
Are they gonna sell the property, the people behind you?
No, they're not gonna sell it. From what I understand, the bank is they're gonna flatten the house and that's it, they're gonna leave it there. They say that the ground is too soft.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yep.
That's a young man and his mother, right? I met them once, a
It's
couple years ago.
Ken, I know him and his wife and the grown-up kids.
Oh,
Can I trouble you to just tell me your name again for the record so we get it?
Sure, last name is Costa, C-O-S-T-A, and my first name is Andres, A-N-D-R-E-S,
Thank you, sir.
and it's from 9 Milton, all right?
Thank you very much, Mr.
All right.
President.
I wish it was, as Attorney Egan said, We have no authority, we don't have the authority to go onto the property for this, but you basically own that road. That is yours, it's not ours. And that's the problem that we have with it. I wish I could say we could come down here with a little blacktop tomorrow. Can't do
I
it.
hear you, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
okay, thank you.
anyone else?
David Chiardello, South Ocean Avenue.
Gabe?
How are you? I'll be real quick. Just want to thank Ron for getting back to me. Every time I have a question, you respond. Appreciate that. I'm a little late to the table on this. I'm no accountant, I'm no lawyer, so maybe someone can explain a line item on the budget. Our expected expenses for garbage collection, I believe it's 1 point something million, somewhere in that neighborhood. Why are we budgeting $2 million? So where is that extra $1 million going?
Because what you see there is primarily your labor and your landfill. It doesn't include fuel, repairs, and those other pieces that go into the DPW budget. So we budgeted based upon those, but there are other pieces that are a cost to us, which is the vehicle repair, the tires, funding for the bonds that go to pay for the trucks. There's a whole series of other costs. that
And
are
are
part of
those
this.
costs somewhere in the budget? Other
They-
than,
They're
do
spread
they
within.
fall under the garbage or?
No, it's not all under garbage. It'll be under truck repairs, or be under repairs, it'll be under fuel, it'll be under bond costs.
Okay, but then again, why are we budgeting $2 million for garbage collection?
Because that's where those costs, on the income side, that's where those costs come from. You have to be able to get the revenue in to be able to pay off the bond. But we're going to do garbage truck this year is $158,000. It's a bonded number. That'll be
Is
over.
that in compliance and guidance from the state comptroller?
Yes,
That we-
yeah.
The way we're doing it?
Yeah, we've been audited on, so it's not an issue.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, Dave, I'm not done with your question, by the way. The question we're working on. We've drilled into the code and found out where those sections are, by the way. You asked about the family,
Yes.
my families. There are two sections of the code, 365.7 and 365.11. It's going to require a local law change, but we're looking at it. So I didn't want to think I forgot about it
Great,
while you were here.
fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.